Good morning, everybody. My name is Barry Schwartz, and this is the Search Buzz video recap. Today is Friday, August 18th, and this is the search news we covered over at the Search Engine Roundtable at seroundtable.com. Got stuff to talk about. Maybe I didn't report about any Google update this week, but I'm seeing some early rumblings, so if I see something, I'll probably post about it on Monday. That out of the way, I don't have a post on that, but there's a lot of talk about Google's search generative experience, AI content pruning by CNET. Google Ads now offers a paid support option, including AI support options, and so much more. So you definitely want to stay tuned and don't miss this episode. Make sure to subscribe and comment as well. And of course, I'd like to thank our sponsor, sponsored by Wix. The Wix Studio launched some new features at wix.com/studio/features, including AI responsive design tools. And now you can also manage the CSS in Wix directly, plus so much more. So check them out at wix.com/studio/features to check out all the new features that Wix has launched. Thank you so much, Wix, for sponsoring. So Google's big news this week is that they made some updates to the SGE, the Search Generative Experience, their AI answer to Bing Chat and ChatGPT. Meanwhile, Wall Street Journal actually came out with an article saying stuff we already knew, that Bing has not increased their market share at all, according to StatCounter and other ones. We reported about this in Searcherland multiple times. But yet, Bing Chat's market share has not improved with Bing Chat, which is a little bit surprising and upsetting, but it is what it is. Back to SGE. They announced SGE while browsing. So now if you use Chrome desktop, it's not live for everybody, but hopefully by the time you see this video, it will be. Or if you use the iOS or Android Google app, and you surf web pages, you go to web browsers and browse them, you may be able to see a way to hit the I button at the bottom and then trigger Google SGE to go ahead and summarize the key points on that page. If it's a paywalled content and it's using the paywall structure data by Google, it will go ahead and not work. It shouldn't work if you're using paywall content. If the page is not indexed, it shouldn't work either. If the page is not long enough, it probably won't work as well. But overall, there is no meta tag to say, Google, I don't want you to summarize my page. Again, Bing Chat has been doing this with their Edge sidebar for a while, so that's not new. But keep that in mind. People can actually go ahead and summarize your page now using Google SGE while browsing in certain browsers. Google also announced with SGE that it now does these contextual overlays for definitions. It's pretty much the same thing that it did for featured snippets, where some words would be actually go ahead and you mouse over those words, it would actually translate them and show you Wikipedia articles and so forth around it. When it first launched in the feature snippets, we were super upset. Now we're kind of numb to it, so we're not so upset. But it does have that feature, and it pretty much works the same way as feature snippets. Also, they actually added code syntax coloring for SGE responses as well. Also, it looks like SGE has dropped the test where they would show links in the generative answers. We reported about this earlier this month where Google was testing 3 different formats for links in contextual links and links in the actual and citations in the actual SGE AI answers. That seems to have gone away. As of yesterday afternoon, Thursday afternoon on August 17th, Brittany Muller and a bunch of other people started to notice that the links have gone. I was in the test. I used to have the links. Now I do no longer have the links. A lot of people are not seeing links anymore. I'm not sure if it's fully rolled out where nobody sees links anymore, but I am definitely not seeing links anymore in the SGE answers. Google has not yet commented about that. Google has commented about that navigational types of queries generally should not trigger a search generative answer. So you search for Nike or certain types of navigational types of queries, it is no longer showing it should not show the SGE AI answer. You might have to generate it manually but generally Google does not want to show a SGE type of answer for a navigational type of query. Google also spoke about AI content again. And John Mueller basically said that if you are using AI content, or AI to write content, if you're using AI to write content, simplifying, he said, I'm simplifying, he wanted to make sure to point that out. By definition, and he says, I'm simplifying, if you're using AI to write your content, it's going to be rehashed from other websites. Of course, AI gets its information and its knowledge from other websites. So if you are using AI to write your content, it's going to be rehashed. Is that a bad thing? I guess only if you're writing AI content from scratch and not manipulating. But if you are going ahead and using AI to help you write the content, of course, it's going to probably make it better and so forth. So, but again, yes, AI to write content does rehash other people's content. Google also commented about CNET's content pruning approach, saying, and let me quote John Mueller, he wrote, "I thought their plans were pretty reasonable and nuanced. The SEO effects are unlikely to be noticed, but it seems like a reasonable direction to go." So basically saying what they did and what their plan was, and what they actually, I don't know if they implemented it right, but what their plan was reasonable in terms of removing if you look at the actual plans, it didn't make sense. They removed content that was outdated, that was no longer relevant, no longer helpful. That's all good stuff to remove. But he basically said it probably would not have an impact SEO-wise on their website. Just keep that in mind. Again, a lot of SEOs disagree with that, but again, it's not like CNET just deleted any content that didn't make sense to delete in their mind. They did a detailed approach to removing that content. John Mueller also said that your domain name will never make or break your SEO. Of course, there are exceptions, like the domain name you bought was penalized or was adult-oriented. It could have an impact, but in general, he said your domain name is never going to make or break your SEO. This was in response to a specific thread over there, where the question was basically about using dashes in domain names and not, and he basically said it's not going to make or break your SEO. Bing Chat supposedly is 99% done with their infrastructure update as of a week ago, actually. So they were waiting for their infrastructure update to roll out so they could actually go ahead and support things like plugins and third-party plugins and the no search feature. But that's not going to go live until their new infrastructure is live, and they're working hard towards it. I saw another update that they're working very hard towards this, but it's not 100% done yet. Hopefully it'll be done soon. Also, Microsoft Mikhail Parahan, the CEO of specifically Bing, said that Bing Chat outperforms GPT-4 raw, but it is much more pricey to do what Bing Chat's doing over what GPT-4 is doing. Also, he said that Bing Chat's copy and pasting images from a third-party source into the Bing Chat query box is coming very soon. He said it's coming on August 28th. So now you can actually just, well, not now, but on August 28th, you'll be able to copy and paste an image from a third-party source into the Bing Chat box to get a little bit faster to answer questions. Also, on the Google side, Google's new Merchant Center has a new Merchant Center attribute called Virtual Mode Link. It's basically a way to communicate to Google Merchant Center that you have a 3D model image of your images, and you can use that using various tools to do that, but there is a new virtual model link attribute that you can actually include in your data so that Google Merchant Center and shopping can actually get that information and show the 3D model or AI model in the actual search results. Google Business Profiles will soon have a way to manage your social media links directly in Google Business Profiles by editing your profile. I do not see this yet. Supposedly this is accessible in the API, and it should be rolling out to more and more people. This was spotted by Elizabeth Rule. Not everybody sees this, but some people do see it. I don't see this yet again. I can't wait to be able to manage those links, because right now, the only way to manage those links that show up in your Google Business Profile for social media links is to like kind of reach out to Google and say, hey, can you update this? And that is a little bit hard for some people, for many people. Google seems to be removing reviews. Not sure if this is a bug or if this is a feature or some type of new enforcement of policy, where a lot of reviews seem to be missing from the Google local business profiles. There are a ton of threads in the past several days, probably a few days, in the Google Business Profiles, a spike in that. Amy Toman notified me of this, and it does seem like when I look at the Google Business Profile forums that there's tons of recent complaints about reviews gone missing. Google has done this before. Sometimes it's a bug where they have to restore the reviews, or sometimes it's just a new enforcement of policy. But it looks like if you are missing reviews, you are definitely not alone. There are a lot of people complaining about reviews being missing. On the Google Ads side, we noticed Google actually went ahead and started to test a beta, or a pilot, they call it, of paid support. So now you're paying Google to advertise on the Google network, and if you want support, you might have to pay $50 around to get a phone call, a max 45-minute phone call or 40-minute phone call to Google to actually get support for using their advertising service. Mind-boggling. This is designed as a small test for the smallest advertisers. So if you're a small advertiser and you're spending your budget and you're giving Google money to advertise on their network and you need help, and you want to get help from Google, who you're already paying for advertising, you can now pay them to actually help you give them more money. So if you're having a problem, pay them to pay them more. Got it? It's mind-boggling to me that You have to pay somebody to support your service that you're already paying for. In any event, Google's testing this. There's a lot of negative feedback about this, but this started this week where Google started to test this, where they're actually offering, you click on a button instead of email support or going to the online community, you can click on book an appointment for X dollars for US pounds. This was spotted by Lomax, where he shared a screenshot of 40 pounds per phone call. And I asked Google, how long is that phone call? And they told me about 45 minutes. So keep that in mind. This is kind of frustrating to me, but I'm sure it's more frustrating to people who use the support. Talking as Google Ad support, they are beta testing a AI-generated help center where you can actually ask AI to answer your questions instead of paying a human to answer your questions. You can ask the AI who will happily do it for you for free. This is spotted by Julie Puccini. Here's some screenshots of that AI-generated help guide, which is, again, Google trying to cheap out on help for a product they actually make a ton of money on. That product. Google Ads is deprecating the shopping campaign's enhanced CPC option. So if you are using the enhanced CPC, you probably received an email over the weekend saying we are deprecating this starting, I believe, on October 2023. So Google said you're receiving this message because you're using enhanced cost per click for your shopping campaigns. And starting October 23, any shopping campaigns using enhanced CPC will behave as if they're using manual CPC bidding. So you should have received that email if you are using that. And keep in mind, you have multiple options to go to if you want to go ahead and move over to that. On the Microsoft advertising side, Microsoft has relaxed the advertising identity verification requirement, which is supposed to go live in the near future. Microsoft said they would require all advertisers to get verified to use their service. Now, Microsoft relaxed that in a big way by basically saying they're going to require some advertisers. Most advertisers won't. Only new advertisers will be required, and maybe they'll go ahead and expand that in the future. I have more details about the specifics about that requirement, which was supposed to start on August 1st. I posted about that on August 16th at SGE.com, so you can learn more there. And I thought Google was testing, or I quite the question that Google was testing a new logo. This actually was spotted by Christian Kunz from his German blog, SEO, forgot how to pronounce it. But in any event, he spotted this, and the Google logo looks very, very weird, but it turns out that 9to5 blog notified me basically saying, this is not Google testing a new logo. It's basically a hack if you use the Googlebot user agent and what logo you see. Very, very interesting. In any event, Google is not testing a new logo like some people thought. And I thought it was cute, but here's a new non-testing logo that Google was not testing that shows up if you change your user agent to Googlebot. In any event, thank you so much for listening to the Search Buzz video recap. My name again is Barry Schwartz, and this is the search news we covered over at the Search Engine Roundtable at SERoundtable.com over the past week. Again, thanks to Wix for sponsoring. Deeply appreciated. Thank you, Wix. And everyone have a great, safe, healthy weekend. I'll see you guys next. Goodbye.